No one today needs to be convinced of the importance of Patriot anti-aircraft and anti-missile systems, both in Ukraine and in the Middle East. For example, in the defense of the American base in Qatar, they have performed their tasks successfully.
We believe that this is the largest single Patriot engagement in U.S. military history, and we were joined in this engagement by the Qatari Patriot crews. I'm not going to tell you how many rounds were shot, but it was a bunch because of classified purposes.
The problem is that while one or two systems consisting of several launchers are sufficient for an attack, such as Iran's in the last hours of the clash with Israel, they are far from enough in the case of massive and daily Russian shelling of the whole of Ukraine. Hence the Ukrainian president's efforts to acquire more Patriots. As he himself admits, there is nothing else on the global air defense market.
If Americans have these systems, Germany, they didn't produce systems of Patriot, but they delivered us more systems than any other country alone. Yes, but they delivered, and we are very thankful for this. But only the United States produce Patriot systems, and I can't find for today alternative.
However, due to their advantages, these systems are currently used all over the world, from the Korean Peninsula through Taiwan to Israel, Europe, and the United States itself. That is why what happened during the U.S. president's press conference in The Hague after the NATO summit deserves special attention when a Ukrainian journalist was given the microphone and asked directly about the possibility of further deliveries.
Is your husband a soldier? No?
He's
there now?
Yeah.
Wow, that's rough stuff, right? That's tough. And you're living here?
In Warsaw.
And you're a reporter?
I am.
Good. So let me just tell you, they do want to have the missiles, okay, as they call them, the Patriots. And we're going to see if we can make some available, you know. They're very hard to get. We need them too. We were supplying them to Israel, and they're very effective, 100% effective. Hard to believe how effective. And they do want that more than any other thing, as you probably know. That's a very good question, and I wish you a lot of luck. I mean, I can see it's very upsetting to you. So say hello to your husband, okay?
According to the American media, Washington, D.C. is already in talks about the possibility of sending at least 3 more Patriot systems to Ukraine. However, another decision was crucial for Ukraine's future: to increase military spending in NATO countries. Aid to Ukraine is to be included in these expenditures, which means that investments in Ukraine's defense are also investments in our security.
NATO leaders agreed on the The Hague Defense Investment Plan. And this will fuel a quantum leap in our collective defense. They agreed to boost our defense industries, which will not only increase our security, but will also create jobs. And we have reaffirmed our unwavering support for Ukraine.
Interestingly, this is not limited to European countries, but even includes allies as far away as Australia. In fact, Canberra has decided to provide very direct assistance to Ukraine.
We have been able to announce that we will be deploying an E-7 Wedgetail to Poland in August for a 3-month rotation, which will help support Ukraine in its struggle and defiance against Russia. There'll be about 100 Australian personnel who come with that asset.
These behind-the-scenes decisions not only have the effect of increasing Ukraine's defense capabilities, but also significantly enhance the credibility of the NATO alliance as a whole. Decisions on the possible seizure of Russian assets frozen by Western banks will also be very important. The Americans are increasingly leaning toward imposing new sanctions on Russia. This is all the more so given that in the light of recent events in the Middle East, the White House is looking for options to reset relations with Iran and stabilize the situation in the Gaza Strip.